All right, let's get into the undrafted free agents real quick, and then we'll wrap things up. If you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot them in the comments. We'll answer them before we wrap up here. I'm going to read the undrafted free agent list, and you can get into your favorites. Center Donovan West, offensive lineman Jason Poe, offensive lineman Sham Schulter, wide receiver Tay Martin, wide receiver Tasir Mack, defensive lineman Kevin Atkins, linebacker Jeremiah Gemmel, linebacker Segun Alubi, defensive back Taylor Hawkins, defensive back Quantrez Knight, and safety Leon O'Neal Jr. Which one are you most excited about?
Donovan West. They gave him $100,000 guaranteed. They obviously feel strongly about him, and he's who I was talking about, was projected as a 4th to 5th round guy. He's the one I like the most. But if you look, they actually sunk. They got a couple of undrafted linebackers. That's just for depth, right? But at the positions where you're like, oh man, do we have a need here? Yes. Okay, well, let's just throw something at it. And they did that with offensive line. They did it with wide receiver. They did it with DBs. And that's really where they concentrated the bulk of what they were doing. And I like that strategy. And I think that it's pretty consensus amongst the 49er fans that the two that they're really excited about, well, 3, is West, Poe, and then Leon O'Neal are the 3 that people are really gassed up about. And then the rest, it's just you can kind of see what is going on and what they're trying to do. And that actually kind of makes up for some of the early stumbles or less than ideal picks in the first couple rounds. You can start to see what this team is going to become and what the regime is trying to do in terms of putting this team forward onto the football field in 2022. And I think that for me, day 3 and undrafted free agency save this draft for me.
Yeah.
I am excited that they went so offensive line heavy towards the back end of the draft, not because I think that they, did a great job of drafting for value where they drafted. I still think that TDP in the 3rd round that's just a laughably bad selection. Not because I think TDP can't become a player, but just for the value where they were at. But when you look at, hey, we have a need at guard, we have a potential need at tackle, and they're taking guys that are athletic, that have physical traits, that are versatile, you're saying, hey, we might be able to develop these guys into something special, into a starter, into a serviceable piece. And it looks like they've been able to do that. I mean, Laken Tomlinson, the 49ers got him from a 7th round pick from Detroit. He was a 1st round guy, never blossomed in Detroit, got him for a 7th round pick, comes here, makes a Pro Bowl, probably should have made 2, and then scores big money with the Jets. Yeah. It looks like that they have a good grasp on how to develop line talent on both sides of the ball. So you get excited about those type of things. And then wide receiver, obviously, you want to see who can potentially stick. We've had a couple of undrafted darlings in our midst for a while. There's the Richie Jameses and, people of that ilk. So you look forward to those kind of guys. Matt Breida was a darling here as an undrafted running back. There are always those guys that you kind of earmark. It's like, man, this guy could be something. So for me, it's Donovan West as that guy, along with potentially Poe. And then, I think a lot of the fan base is latching on to Leon O'Neal Jr.
Those are the 3 I've seen the most of. And just looking on social media, I saw this video from David Lombardi, which I wanted to share, just kind of showing James Poe's athleticism, which I thought was kind of wild. So I'm going to play it here. £300.
Hey, listen, tackle eligible, play down near the goal line. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. So I just wanted to share that.
I just want to see him knock somebody's cup into the dirt. You know what I mean?
So. Yeah, definitely. All right. Overall, how would you grade this draft class? It's hard to say a day.
It's hard to give it a letter grade just because of, I tried to do that and it didn't work out for me. I think it's an okay draft as it stands right now. I'm not super happy with it, but I'm also not despondent over it either. I think that it's like a middle of the road draft for me.
Okay. I would say if I had to give it a grade, I'm going to go with like a B minus. I think the back end and the undrafted free agents really saved this draft. I think they've reached a little bit with TDP, but if they
I
feel
think
like
they
that's
reached
the
with
guy,
Danny Gray too, to be honest. But I mean,
yeah. So I'm all right with it if they feel like they could really bring something to the team and moving forward could play a pivotal role. But we'll see. We'll only have to see.
right.
Trey
This is a
Lance.
good point too, by the way. Trey Lance stands out well. It's an A plus. If Trey Lance hits, then yeah, I mean, essentially Trey Lance was their first round pick this year, so
Yep.
it is what it is.
Yep.
If he hits, then it makes everything else kind of worth it.